I'm Jacob Dean in for Thom Hartmann on the news. You need to know this. The days of the Tea Party controlling Congress may be numbered. Congressional aides are suggesting that Speaker of the House John Boehner is planning to work around his Tea Party members and negotiate with Democrats on a deal to extend the payroll tax cut when Congress reconvenes later this month. Afraid of another payroll tax embarrassment and afraid of a long debate that could distract Republicans trying to defeat President Barack Obama in the next election, Boehner is uneasy about giving the Tea Partiers a say in the upcoming debate. As one aide to the member of the House of Republican leadership team said, and I quote, "I think Boehner will seek a more accommodating approach to get a good percentage of Democrats to vote for it. Even if it costs him a lot of House Republican freshmen, his instincts will be not to be so lenient on House Republican freshmen," end quote. Let's hope this means an end to government by hostage takers. Retirement? We don't need no stinking retirement. According to data from the Labor Department, more Americans over the age of 55 are working than ever before. There are 3.1 million more workers over the age of 55 than there were before the recession. That's a 12% increase. As a result, there are fewer jobs for younger people, with 6.5 million less people employed between the ages of 25 and 54. As the Washington Post reports, since the recession, more seniors are worried that they don't have enough money to adequately retire. A lot of blame for that financial uncertainty can be traced back to the 1980s, when more Americans started moving their retirement from company pensions to market 401ks. And since the market went into a tailspin, a lot of that money was lost. This just goes to show that the Republican plan to privatize Social Security and move everyone's retirement to Wall Street is a very dangerous idea. In the best of the rest of the news, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is off and running. Newly appointed head of the Bureau, Richard Cordray, unveiled a set of guidelines yesterday to combat the ongoing housing crisis. The Bureau will examine whether leaders are offering up risky subprime mortgage loans to home buyers and whether those potential home buyers can actually repay. Also, lenders will be subject to rules prohibiting fine print that misrepresent the terms and conditions of their loans. It's about time the middle class has got someone on their side against the banksters. Even in the post-Citizens United world, there is still such a thing as illegal campaign donations. And based on research by the National Business Ethics Survey, illegal corporate campaign contributions are up 400% since 2009. Surprised? According to Roll Call, the spike in illegal donations probably has something to do with the perceived lack of strict campaign finance rules since the Citizens United decision. So we can thank the Supreme Court for giving us the best so-called democracy money can buy. There's another attack on the free and open internet coming from Congress. Republican Congressman Darrell Issa, with the help of Democratic Congresswoman Carolyn Maloney, introduced legislation to require online users to pay to read biomedical research published by the National Institutes of Health. This research is funded by taxpayer dollars and since 2008 has been published on the internet free for taxpayers to read. But under the new Research Works Act, the articles would instead be published on pay sites, costing as much as $35 to look at. Turns out that both Issa and Maloney have received contributions from a company called Elsevier, which calls itself the world's leading publisher of scientific and medical journals and would directly benefit from the Research Works Act. Smoking marijuana isn't all that bad for you after all. Medical researchers followed 5,000 people over 2 decades to determine the effects of chronic marijuana use on the lungs. Turns out smoking a joint a day for 2 decades does not impair lung function. Even among heavy users, up to 3 joints a day did not impair lung function. For the first time ever, more than 50% of the nation supports legalizing marijuana. It is time to finally end Richard Nixon's war on drugs and put in place a responsible drug policy in America. The gropers at TSA are rich. Last year, the TSA collected over 4,000 $400,000 in unclaimed spare change at security checkpoints. Most of the money was collected at JFK and LAX airports. Under legislation proposed by Congressman Jeff Miller, the TSA would have to donate any spare change to United Services organizations. In the meantime, it will likely go right into the pockets of Michael Chertoff for the purchases of his X-ray porno scanners. And finally, the new anti-Romney Republican candidate could be Stephen Colbert. The comedian and host of the Colbert Report on Comedy Central announced that he is forming an exploratory committee to run for president in South Carolina. Yesterday, Colbert handed off the reins of his super PAC to Jon Stewart, the host of The Daily Show, to get rid of any possible conflicts of interest. According to a recent poll conducted by the Public Polling Policy, Colbert is actually beating Jon Huntsman in South Carolina, so it might not be a long shot after all. Here's to a far more entertaining Republican debate in the future. And that's the way it is today, Friday, January 13th. I'm Jacob Dean, in for Thom Hartmann on the news.